Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend.
Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Perez, George Russell and Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, the owner-driver, Bottas, Ocon, Lando Norris and Mick Schumacher, Joe, Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda and Sebastian Vettel, Gasly, Stroll, Albon and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Okay, not the best placement there, mate. Let's try and get a good launch as the race starts. Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward. Final lap of the race. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Well, it wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today, as they make their way up the standings. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, goodbye. Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters wearing red today, and they've all turned out for what we're expecting will be a sensational event here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, George Russell, the owner driver, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, and Fernando Alonso. Hamilton, they've taken a grid penalty, Mick Schumacher, Lando Norris, and Joe, Ricciardo, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, and Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Stroll, Latifi, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights. Right, the virtual safety car's just been deployed due to a build-up of stopped cars on the track. Watch your pace. Safety car in this lap, safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature. Remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Okay, clear. Track, but officials aren't looking to push for safety car right now. Just be careful. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 2.3 seconds. Understood. Stopping this lap. Nico's coming in for his stop now. And gap to the car in front is 15.2 seconds. Our gap behind is 1.8 seconds. You've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. Okay, gap ahead is 14.9 seconds. Got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Gap to your teammate behind is 5.0 seconds. Got 1 lap of fuel remaining. And gap to the car in front is 16.5 seconds. Pick up rubber and bring it home.
And that's it then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And what a sensational victory they've managed to pull off here. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, it's got to be Nico Hulkenberg. He displayed exceptional skill out on track today and wasn't afraid to fight his way through the pack.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.